Yeah, just tell me about you and your organization. Like, I just want to know who you are before we,
Yeah.
we start going deep on all that stuff.
So I'm 17 and
Cool.
I started my business that I've had now, I think 2 years. So when I was 15. And I it first started off as clothing because I was in Big Picture, which is where is passion-based learning. So I think it was cars, and then so you can basically learn about anything you want. And but it's very hard to explain, but it's how, yeah. So I've done that for the last 2 years, and with my business, it's I try to make it to like raise awareness for mental health, but I also like to like make it so it's like my own stuff, like so it's not, yeah. And then yeah, so I do clothing, I do podcasts, and I do events, and there's like heaps of stuff onto it. So like
Cool.
the walk, I was like a 6 hour walk to raise money for mental health. Can you tell me about you?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I am similar in age. I'm 19. So young as well. Just got out of high school 2 year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Still trying to figure it out. Um, but yeah, I'm a full-time producer, YouTube producer. That's like my main gig. But I'm also very interested in mental health and um, pushing ourselves emotionally and mentally, and yeah, just really connecting deeper with who we are. And
Yeah,
I'm a believer in yeah, I'm a believer in God, and just like stepping deeper and like helping people step deeper into their faith as I've stepped deeper into mine. So um yeah, that's kind of like basic synopsis of who I am, but I guess we'll probably dive deep into it as we begin and start chatting for a little bit.
yeah. I saw you had I think it was the podcast with Nico. He did
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You watch Yes Theory and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I do watch Yes Theory. Yeah.
yeah. I've worked with them for the whole 2 years I'm doing it, so they've like helped me with the business side and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good friends with some of them. So yeah, I know those guys
yeah,
pretty well.
they're awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't got the Seek Discomfort on
Oh,
my,
sick.
yeah.
That's so dope, dude.
So what do you like do? Like explain to the people watching what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a producer for a YouTube channel called Airrack. I was brought on a year ago to help scale production, meaning basically they hired me to do all the behind the scenes logistic work to make sure that videos go from idea to reality. So if someone tells me, hey, we want to strand ourselves in the middle of the ocean on a life raft, I'm the person who finds the boat to take us out there, the location, coordinates all the flights, make sure that we can find a life raft, make sure we have all the safety team, have the captain, like all of the things that you probably don't think about that go into the video, and then all the planning, that's my job. So basically taking idea and making it into reality, that's my job. And so a lot of my day to day is really just interacting with the team, and then also interacting with businesses and other social media personalities, and other brands who we can partner with, not necessarily for like them to give us money and we promote them, but to actually say, hey, we want to work with you to make X thing happen. So if it's, let's say with the boat example, of like, oh, there's this life raft company that's super cool. I need to reach out to them to make sure that we can get a raft, and that whether that is us paying full price for a raft or we partner, whatever that looks like. But a lot of it is just like reaching out to companies and reaching out to brands to, again, take idea to reality.
So you basically like make everything happen.
On the logistics side, that's a lot of that's my job. I wouldn't say everything happened. Obviously, it's a team effort, and I'm very grateful that I have other people on the team to be able to help with the creative side and the idea generation. But when it comes to actually taking like this made up thing that is like, hey, this would be cool to do, and then turning it into like we're on set and able to shoot that idea, that's my job. Yeah, so that I take that responsibility.
That's awesome. Did you like always want to do this type of stuff? Or was it like did you
No, I actually didn't want to do this stuff. It's really funny. um, my dad has been in production for 40 plus years, basically 40 plus years. And so I always saw like how hectic and crazy, but he was more in theater production. So he ran an entire theater out in Los Angeles, and did all of like live shows. Um, and so for me, I was like, I saw how chaotic that was, and I was like, I want to stay as far away from that. And then it's funny because in junior high and high school, I actually was in the production class at my school. So I did news television, I was an anchor, and I was a producer, and I was a director. Like I did all of the roles just to like get my hands dirty, camera operator, video, like everything, audio guy, all the way to like editor, which is like, so every single job that you can think of in production, I did, but on a very low level. So just like getting very brief introductions to each thing. And so I did that for about 5 years. And then actually my junior year in high school, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much. I want to focus on sports, and I want to focus on academics, and really just like stay as far away from that because I don't enjoy it.
yeah.
And so I stayed away from it. And then 2 years later, uh, high school gets canceled because of COVID. And um, I finish out the year, graduate, do a semester of online community college because I didn't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on private school, even though I got in. I was like, I'm not going to spend 70 grand to go to school. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then ended up really feeling led and called to work with creators and to work with entrepreneurs and be in that field because I was massively inspired by them, and I wanted to be. It was less about working with them and like more about being friends with them because I just love creative and entrepreneurial minded people. And long story short, I reached out to someone I knew who was in the space, and they just so happened to be the manager of Airrack. And then they put me in contact, and
Is
the
that
rest is
Zach?
history. Yeah, Zach.
Yeah,
So
Zach.
I knew I was like friend of a friend, so I knew all of Zach's friends for the most part, and then they referred me to Zach, and Zach gave me an opportunity to work with Eric.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So did you do it like straight after you left high school? Or yeah.
I did a semester of online college, just because I basically told my parents, I said, I'm gonna do a year of college, um, as I figure this stuff out with COVID and everything. I'm not gonna spend the money on going to a private university. I'll just do community college and figure it out as we go. So I took like 3 or 4 online classes, ended up getting a job at the same time at like a Boys and Girls Club, ended up hating the job, just because it was just like dealing with kids during COVID and like trying to like, it was basically like keep them as far away from each other as possible. It's like, it really doesn't work with kids. And then at the same time, I was taking classes that, I mean, I was like, had my eyes closed and was half asleep as I was, typing these things, and I was still passing with like straight A's. So it was like I didn't have to put any brain energy into it. And so it didn't make sense to me. It's like I really want to apply myself and into something that I actually really, really enjoy and want to learn more about. And so that was creators. And it was right after college that I after my first semester of college. And then I told my dad, give me a year and I'm going to figure it out. And within 2 months, I had a job.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I haven't really quick.
Yeah, I became an adult very fast. Uh, I moved out, got a job, started 2 other jobs, started building a company, took on all my payments, and started a long distance relationship all in the same month.
Jeez, that's a
So it was
lot.
like seven or eight major life changes, um, all in like basically a 2 to 3 week span.
Damn.
Yeah,
Was
pretty
that
crazy.
stressful? Or was like
Um, I wouldn't say it was stressful, no. I would say it was very motivating, like to see where I was in like such a um stuck state, and to then have massive transformation into a new environment, and then to be able to keep up with it, knowing that I was I was always capable of more and that I just never pushed myself to do it. But I will say like after about 4 or 5 months, I was like completely exhausted and I had to offload things that weren't serving me anymore. So I stopped the 2 jobs, stopped building the company because it was just like it didn't make sense at the time. And I wanted to put all my energy into building this business with Eric and helping grow the channel. And um yeah, so I wouldn't say that the word was stressful. I would say that it was more just like it was a lot, you know.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. It was like there was just a lot of stuff. And I think by nature that because you put so much new stuff on your plate, it finally catches up to you where you're like, whoa, I can't take this right now. Like it's just too much information, too much is happening. And that's when I think it was less stress and like more just like anxious emotions came up because it's like, I don't know if I can do this. Like
Yeah.
it was so much. But I mean, we have those thoughts and emotions all throughout our life, regardless
Yeah.
of the information we have at our fingertips or, whether we're 10 or whether we're 100, like we still have those same emotions. Hopefully at 100, we're like somewhat content with
Yeah.
our lives and we're not feeling anxiety all the time. But yeah, it wasn't stress. It was more just like, whoa, this is a lot. And
Yeah.
how do I figure it all out?
That's good though that it wasn't stressful. Like,
There's moments, obviously, like there's definitely moments when I mean when you're tasked with like delivering a video to 2 million people, it's like there's naturally stress and figuring out a solution to make sure that happens, or when someone cancels on you the day before and you know you have to make sure that the video happens still.
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's still stressful, but it's definitely like something that I'm working on managing, and I think it's something that like everybody should work on managing is like figuring out how to not go into moments of like when something crazy does happen, it's like the first emotion shouldn't be stress. It should be, okay, it's gonna be good. Let's figure it out together.
Um, what was your like first video that you did helped with?
Yeah, the first video I did was a Tesla video. It wasn't the first video I worked on, but it was the first video that came out. So first video I ever worked on was a Tesla fake Tesla prank. But the first video I actually started working on was ice bike, and I think that was the first video on our channel that got like 5 million views or something like that. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, that was pretty special to be a part of, and it's still like one of our best performing videos. So that was pretty cool to be a part of.
Do you have like a favorite thing that you've done? Or
It all depends. Like there's because each video is so unique and so different. Like there's so many moments where I'm just like profoundly grateful for the experiences, but it's so hard to like pinpoint. I would say like some of my favorite times are like just like off video of like going to dinner with everyone after we've had like this crazy video and just like being in each other's presence to me like, dang, we just did that. Like that's so crazy. And so I would say for videos, it's so hard to pinpoint because everyone is, I think also like a lot of like past videos like push out of my memory because they're just like over and done with on the next one. So it's like sometimes hard to remember because it's constantly figuring out new ideas.
I started college or college. Yeah,
Yeah.
I started that in 4 or 5 days, and
Oh,
I'm doing
crazy.
um film. So I'm doing screen production and film editing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm very passionate about it. Like it's a lot, so I'm very like nervous, but also excited at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think the one like piece of advice that I would give is that school is a great place to connect with people. Like that's why I loved going to high school, to be honest. Like I just love meeting people. It was less about the school, but more about the people. And that was like an intention that I set is my last year of high school was like invest in people. And so my one tip of advice would just be like, I said this on Nico's podcast, like invest in people and your world will be, because 90, oh, I'm getting a call, one sec.
good.
Um, but I would say 99% of your job working in film will be the connections that you have. And so it's like building strong connections with people is
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Let me text this person real quick.
That's so good.
It's actually Phidias.
Oh, he's funny. I was like, didn't he meet Eric from just like saying like to meet him at a park with a box or something?
Yeah, he had like a gift he wanted to give to Eric, and it's all the rest is history.
Okay. Do you have any future goals for like what you want to do? Like,
Like with work.
yeah, or just like in general?
Yeah. Um, I have like a group of I actually just talked about this today with one of my best friends. His name is Ani, runs like a tech company's stupid smart, like NASA, worked on Mars rovers when he was 19, like as an intern, like crazy guy.
Yeah.
And we talked about this today, and because we have like an accountability group of like just big brain human beings who are really young. So it's like people ranging from like Mars rover guys all the way to like people on Mr. Beast's like TikTok team. And I think the one thing like as a goal, I was really reflecting like this year is obviously because I've been in the job for a year, and it's like what really are my aspirations and what are my intentions? Is it to like be on YouTube and help YouTubers and like help them grow to crazy numbers? Is it like to make as much money as possible? Is it like what is it? And I think I'm a very deep person. I mean, I've been since like I was like 2. And um these are like questions that a lot of people don't ask themselves, or I feel like they ask themselves when they're younger, but they don't find the answer. And it's like I'm very set on like finding the answer to, what are the goals that I want and how am I going to execute on them? And like I think that's very creatively. It's like a lot of creators are like that, and a lot of people who help creators are like that because they like the job is inherently like number and goal oriented. And so again, this is a very long way to go about it, but I would say like as I was reflecting on those things, the major thing that I realized was that money's going to come in and money's going to come out of my bank account for the rest of my life. Like as soon as I got a job, money's going to come in and money's going to come out. I'm going to have a lot at some point, and I'm going to have probably not that much at some point. And I'll have investment strategies, and then sometimes I'll have to take that money and put it into helping someone, like or even making sure that I can get food on my table. Like money will come in and money will come out. Jobs will be had and then jobs will not be had. Like it's a natural process of evolution. It's a natural process of like growing as a human being. It's good to step into things and step out of things and grow and learn. And so I was trying to find a goal that was really consistent, like throughout my life, right? Which wasn't like a monetary goal, which wasn't like a work goal, but something that was like could actually be applied to all those things. So it was something that could be applied to money. It was something that could be applied to work. It was something that could be applied to relationships. And when it came down to, and like this is like my apex goal of like, if I can do this, not even if I can achieve this, because it's not like it's achievable. Uh, it's a constant pursuit.
Yeah.
And so the goal is like how do I deepen my faith? And it's something that like I'm still not too sure about, like at all. And I'm figuring it out. Like I personally am drawn to like Christianity and God and that type of thing, but like it's like I'm still young trying to figure it out and I don't know the answers. But something that like I really, really, really want and what I have as a goal for myself so that I can take it into my relationship, I can take it into my work, I can take it into whatever, is how do I deepen my faith in that which is greater than me? I choose to call it God. And then how do I get so convicted in that where I believe it and I trust it and I find it as truth so that I can deepen my sense of self, I can deepen my relationship with God, and then I can help others deepen their relationship with God and help them because I believe that God is God is so profound and you can't really define it and you can't put anything to it. But the one thing that I do know about it is that it's very loving. It's a very loving God, and that what I've come to discover as like the quote unquote meaning of life, in my current understanding of the world, is like it's just about meeting people. And this isn't necessarily the meaning of life, but what I've found is like something that has allowed me to deepen my knowledge and understanding of life is meeting people where they are, loving them through it, and then helping them with breakthrough. And so like I find the most joy in life when I'm able to sit down and have a conversation with someone and um, watch them go from like just hunched over back and not feeling good all the way to like massive transformation of like, oh my God, I feel incredible. I feel so convicted and I feel deep into my faith. So yeah, it's like a main goal that's on my heart. And then also just like uh I think for me it's like how do I redefine a lot of like the things that we say are true, but we're just actually telling them to ourselves. So it's like actually finding the truth about certain things, being really convicted in values and being convicted in beliefs and being convicted in being like certain about things, and helping others become convicted in them.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's some good goals. Do you have like a highlight of your career so far?
Highlight of my career. Oh man, it's so interesting calling it a career because I've been doing it for a year. um, I would say just meeting people. It's been so incredible to just meet incredible people. Like a year and a half ago, I was watching these people on the internet, and now I'm working with them, and now I'm friends with them. And that's like not a flex. That's more of just a like, I think we really underestimate our ability, or our we really underestimate what can happen in such a short amount of time. Like 1 year is so small
Yeah,
compared to the massive size of our life. Hopefully massive size of our life. And so yeah, just like I get to hang out with cool people and I get to be friends with cool people and I get to meet cool people. And that doesn't like cool, not meaning like famous and creators, but like I just I get to meet like because of my job, I inherently it's like a people driven job. And
yeah.
so like I get to meet amazing people and it's been incredible.
Do you have like a who was someone you used to watch before, like that you've met now?
Um, a big one was yesterday. I watched yesterday like all the time. I like literally dreamed about like I visualized like meeting them, shaking their hands, giving them a hug in their office. Like this whole visualization, that whole thing like played out in real life, like it happened.
That's so cool.
That was crazy. Um, I just recently I used to a long time ago like watch Ryan Trahan and Haley Pham. Now I've like met them and we're cool and we're buddies. I've watched a lot of TikTokers recently before I deleted TikToks. Like this guy, his name's Josh and Frankie and Asaf. They're like really funny comedy guys. And like now they're my homies and we hang out every week and it's just like so good.
That's
Um, and so yeah, it's like again, it's like not like a I get to hang out with like cool social
yeah,
media people. It's like I just get to enjoy the presence of like amazing people who are
yeah,
doing amazing things in social media, in real life. Like I would say some of like my favorite people to hang out with are like my more spirit driven people, my more faith led people. Like one of my best friends is like a pastor for my church and he's like one of my favorite human beings to hang out with. Um, and so yeah, I think it's been really special to be in a position that I'm in where like I naturally my job like I get to meet cool people.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's an awesome
that's the
job.
highlight. That's the highlight is the people.
Has any part of your job been like mentally struggling, or like it's a big question. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean I would say like with any job, it's like every part of the job is mentally
yeah,
struggle like is mentally exhausting, is mentally tiring. Like there's just so any job at this caliber, right? When you are on a team when you're delivering a piece of content every week, it's like it's not easy content. It's like we're doing
yeah,
crazy ideas that have never been thought of before, never been done before, or if they have been done before, they're like taken to the next level. um and it's like it's not an easy task. And so I would say it's not necessarily mentally exhausting because it's like I hate the people I work with because it's like I love the people I work. They're some of my best friends.
yeah.
I love the people I work with, and I love the team that we're creating, and uh, I love the videos that we're making, and the impact that we're having, and the businesses we're making, and like all those things. Love it. Um, but it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. It's a lot goes into building a multimedia company. So I would say there's like nothing in specific that's like, oh, that's the thing that takes it out of me.
Yeah. It's like all.
Because like in all jobs, there's things that you're gonna like and there's things you're gonna dislike. But I would say like I think it's more just because there's like such high level thinking. It's not just like everyday one task like picking up calls and like
Yeah.
selling stuff or not saying that's not hard, but it's like not like doing basic tasks. It's like high level thinking of like how do we solve this problem? And
Yeah.
that's what I think what takes a big mental I wouldn't say toll, but like that's what like really like is tiring.
Yeah. My questions, you basically sort of answered them like while explaining other stuff. So do you have like any
Gotcha.
other questions for me? Or, or
I don't have any questions that's specific for you. I guess um yeah, I'm just interested in like what the goal is for you and kind of where your head's at with. I know you said you're going to film school, and I know because there's like so much access to like what film is now and like what YouTube is and all that stuff. I'm just curious, like, what are you inspired to do, and what do you want to create?
for me, so I got bullied from year like I don't know what you call it because I know it's like different, but grade I think is a grade like in school like the like young school. I got bullied from the I think year 4 to year 8 or 9,
Mm.
and so we had to move over to a different state, and I wanted to make a difference and like change because what I went through was not good, and I wanted to like somehow, I don't know how, but like help people who've also gone through the stuff I went through or something worse or like yeah. But yeah, so I think for me, my goal is to just like change people's lives somehow and in some
Mm.
way. I don't know how, but I'm very passionate about it because I don't want them going through what I went through. Oh, but I just yeah, I care a lot about people. So for
Mm.
me, it's like I don't know. I just want to help however I can and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I think there's a lot of pressure on young people to have to figure it out, and because we have these platforms, it's like I need to make change, and because there's all these other people who are doing it, and I was very similar when I was your age, and it was like literally 2 years ago, where I had my podcast, and I was talking to people, and I was very like kindness, love, empathy, vulnerability. It's gonna heal the world. Like, yeah, let's go do it and everything. Um, and then I realized like I had this aha moment of none of that matters if you're like not investing directly in the people that you're like that are in your life.
Yeah.
Like, and you've probably seen that, and you probably have that had a similar realization where it's like I can have like all these goals, aspirations for like for impact and wanting to change the world, but if I'm not practicing in my group of people, like if I'm not
Yeah.
caring for my best friends, if I'm not caring for my girlfriend, if I'm not caring for my mom, my dad, like all these people, like the people I'm closest with, and taking like making sure they're good, it's like all that other impact stuff goes out the window because it's like I
Yeah.
can't even take care of my own home. Um, and so I relate with you on that, where it's like wanting to do so much good in the world, which is like we have the opportunity to do that, which is crazy because
Yeah.
of our platforms and what we're able to do. It's like we have the opportunity now more than ever to make change. And I think it's like grounding ourselves in reality, knowing that that change is going to happen regardless. Um, or not, I said that wrong. Knowing that that change is going to happen at some point, right? If you're passionate about the change, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's not like not going to happen, because if you're passionate about it, it just will work. Is how the world works. Very interesting. I think that's also how God works. Like if he puts it on your heart to want to help people, he's going to help you help people. And so, yeah, I empathize with you, and I want to encourage you to continue down that path of like wanting to change. Don't put too much on your pressure to say, why aren't these things changing right now? I'm putting all this effort into it. But I would encourage you to like lean into those emotions, lean into those thoughts, and really figure out what type of change do I want to create? Who am I impacting? Is it like everybody? It's like, okay, well, if it's everybody, it's like you got to figure out who's the first person, right? So I think that just like starts very locally, like your home. It's like, how do I make an impact on my mom? How do I make an impact on my dad, my best friend, all those things. And yeah, I think aim high. Jordan Peterson has an interesting quote. He's like, the basic premise of the quote is, aiming higher is better than not aiming at all, because if at least you've missed the target, you've at least gotten farther than where you were before. So it's like, yeah, I think that's a interesting idea. It's like, if you don't aim at all, you're not going to go anywhere. But if you aim high, like, and you miss low, at least you're farther than where you were.
Yeah, I think I've sort of like lived by that, like my whole, like while doing this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's helped a lot, because I see it as like nothing's impossible. Like you can do what you like, whatever. Like I didn't think I would be speaking to all the people I speak to, and like doing all the events and stuff, and like being like so when I organized the walk, the schools reached out and wanted like to, is there the private schools and Christian schools, so they're not like allowed to speak about suicide and like all that type of stuff. So yeah, from my walk, they brought it into their school because of how much they realized it could change and like help different people. So that was probably like one of the top things that like I was just like, whoa, yeah, I was just not expecting like to make that big of a change.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Do you have any future, like anyone you want to work with in the future? I was like,
Who I want to work with in the future?
yeah.
As of right now, I just like love the team that I'm working with. I think if anything, to like work with people, it wouldn't be like to leave the team. It would be like working with other people in other aspects of my life. So like it wouldn't be necessarily be work endeavors. So I'm like getting literally so many calls during this. It's so crazy.
So good.
Where I lost your face. There we go. Yeah, it wouldn't be like necessarily for work endeavors. It'd be more personal endeavors. So like working with spiritual leaders, working with big business people, to be mentored and learn from them. Because I'm very inspired by people who have been there, done that. And yeah, I think someone that like I'd love to work with and get to work with is Simon Sinek. Very inspired by him. There's this pastor that I've just started listening to. His name's Tyler Staton. Is in Portland. He runs a church called Bridgetown Church. He's a very incredible, very smart human being. I'd love to like work with him. Honestly, it's like there's like no other YouTubers I'd really want to work with, because I just love our team, and it's like such a cool group of people. I love our guys. It's like it would almost feel like a betrayal, like because they're like my best friends.
Yeah.
And so I think it would, like, if anything, to like work with other people would be like to step into other businesses that they're building and helping them build those and scale those. yeah, I'd love to like work with like really big organizations. I'd love to create some change in education um at some point because I think especially in US, I don't think our education system's the best. And like I'm talking like primary, secondary like primary education, like K through 12. Um of like just figuring out how to like develop better curriculum and how to have more mental health resources, how to like talk about how human beings work, how to bring like faith into school, those sorts of things, but like not in like a you have to practice this, but like, hey, this is a possibility. You should check this
Yeah,
out. I just want to work with everybody, man. I want to hear everybody's story.
yeah. As I really like I have Asperger's, so I find it hard to speak and communicate with people. And
Mm,
yeah, so I didn't think I would be doing having my own podcast and doing all this stuff. But I don't know. I've sort of sorry, my dog is like breakdancing on the floor right now.
mm. It's
Yeah,
okay, I
so
can't hear it.
yeah, so I didn't think I would be like wanting to do all this stuff, but I for some reason, even though with my Asperger's and stuff, I like meeting people and talking to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, and like big, and I also started my business because I wanted people to know or like learn more about what Asperger's is because it's not really known.
Mm.
And yeah, but yeah,
Asperger's is I don't want to misspeak, but is it a form of autism or is
yeah,
that is
yeah,
it's on the spectrum? Gotcha. I know there's another thing that's on the autism spectrum that's like very common. It's Asperger's and then what's the other one? I can't really remember. I believe there's like one other thing that was on the spectrum, like it's like a common, not common, but like usually like Asperger's is like separated from autism, you know what I mean? There's like
yeah,
another one that's like separated from autism, but I can't remember what it is.
yeah. They're
Um,
separated, but they're still on this. It's weird. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like Asperger's like talked about separately, but it's on the autism spectrum. And then there's
yeah,
another one that's on the autism spectrum, but it's talked about separately. I can't
yeah,
remember what it is. Um, but yeah, yeah, I think it's an amazing um that and I think it's a testament to you, it's a testament to your brand and everything is like fear is your strength. And I think talking about the things that we may not want to talk about is super powerful. And I think that's like our greatest source of purpose is like
yeah,
for me, um, like my greatest source of purpose is talking about like God and talking about how to help people like feel good, like find inner peace. And that's because that's like the thing I struggle with most is like always like throughout my entire life wasn't raised religious, but like the one thing I struggled with most is like my relationship with God. And again, I still don't know what it is. Like I'm figuring it out.
yeah,
And like inner peace is something I struggle with massively because it's like my brain is constantly going, constantly thinking, constantly like philosophizing and trying to find all the answers to the universe. And um, I think talking about those things is so powerful because
yeah,
it comes from a place of like just like deep meaning and deep purpose because it's like the thing that we think about all the time, you know, because it's the thing that we live with.
yeah,
Like I live with my brain. It's always in there and it never stops. And so I have the best uh knowledge of it, right? Maybe like not necessarily like I'm still trying to figure it out, but I think like probably similar for you. It's like because it's something you live with and it's something that you're like this uh this impacts my life. Because of that, I'm passionate about educating people about it so that it can become more quote unquote normalized. That
yeah,
it's like I wouldn't see you as like not normal or like this or that. It's just like you're another human being who has something, and I'm another human being who has something. You know, it's like we're all human beings. We all have our thing, and it's
yeah,
like doesn't hold us back. It's just it's the greatest source of our strength. It's the greatest source of our purpose.
yeah. I think yeah, because I was very afraid to like speak about it
Mm.
because I couldn't speak about it, but that's like I was like yeah. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was super scared to speak about it, but then seek discomfort. Like they've helped, like those two words, that's helped me through basically my whole life, like, well, since I've watched them. And yeah, I don't know, I wanted to make my own thing that like represented me in a way, which
Mm,
which is why I made, or there's like many reasons why I made my own brand, like the
yeah.
words, like the slogan. And yeah, so I think that, yeah, there's like the main reason I made it was my Asperger's, but it was also because of all the other things that went with it. So it's like a, yeah,
Mm,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I killed a bunch of birds with one stone.
Yeah. Um, do you, so like with my business and stuff, I'm sort of
Mm,
like stuck on the creative side because like it's
mm.
very hard because there's like a lot of things to do and a lot of things is like, I don't know, like I'm stuck. So do you have like any advice that
Creative on like content to make that sort of thing.
yeah, and like other stuff like around it, like my business.
Hmm. I wouldn't consider myself the creative guy, but I would consider myself uh someone who has some form of knowledge of social media now that I've been involved with it for a year. And what I would say is that it's always better to do it with people. Um, so just brainstorm with people and dream with people and don't be afraid to talk about crazy dreams that you may have. Don't be afraid to talk about um, that weird idea that you think wouldn't work, but maybe with some tweaking it could. And I think the creative stuff will flow. It's really a muscle. Like for us, we realize it. It's like it's just flexing the muscle over and over and over and over, and then we figure out our brand and figure out what works for us. So I think for you, it's just experimenting. And tips for creative, I would write every day. I would sit in silence for at least 10 to 30 minutes a day and just like listen, whether that be like you're listening to like what God says, or you're listening to just like what the universe says, or you're listening to your own mind, and then write it. Write down what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and a lot of your inspiration will come from that. And I think you'll start to see, like, you'll be able to visualize, and you'll be able to see like the creative stuff coming together. And then you can bounce that off friends.
Yeah, I
Is that kind of what you were looking for? I don't.
yeah, it's
Cool.
yeah, it's sort of like because the people I know, they're not like really into the same type. Like they support me and stuff, but they're doing like
Yeah.
completely different things. But yeah, I think for me it's harder to get in, like to meet people who are also as creative as I am. If that
Have
makes
you
sense.
joined Creator Now by chance?
No, I wanted to, but I don't have a job because of
Oh,
reason.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. There's gotta be a way.
yeah,
Gotta be a way.
yeah,
We should be starting a season. If you can raise $250 for the next round, even if you do like a fundraiser or something like that, I
yeah.
think that'll be a great community for you.
Yeah. I think it also because I'm in Australia, like doubles. I think it would be like, I don't know, 370. So yeah, I want to join it because I've seen some stuff and the people that have done it and stuff. It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's awesome.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely join.
Um, yeah. Well, that's all the like stuff I have.
Cool.
Yeah. But thank you for like just
Yeah.
talk, like actually wanting to like talk about it. All the stuff
Yeah,
you
of
did was
course.
awesome.
Of course. Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you the best, truly. And um, yeah, just lean into the things that I know it might be difficult right now. And so I would encourage you to like lean into the things that feel difficult and figure out why they're difficult. Like, why do these things feel off? Or
Yeah.
why is this more challenging than this thing? And it's like leaning into that and knowing that you don't have to have the answer. but that someone's watching over you and that you got your back. It's like someone's got your back. And yeah, just know that you don't have to do it by yourself, and that you got plenty of supporters. And yeah, I enjoy talking to you, and I truly wish you the best. And I'm excited to
Get back.
I'm excited.
Like,
I'm excited to see the wave that spreads over Australia and over the world.
thank you. That means a
Yeah,
lot.
of
Yeah,
course.
thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
I'm definitely gonna stay in contact with you. So yeah, like
Cool.
contact with you. But yeah, thank you so much.
Sounds good. Yeah, of course. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Peace.